So we have to talk about the music first of all, because the music in this movie was amazing.
Yes.
Tell me about performing it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes up the backbone of the film. That's what the original series was all about, was expressing yourself through music. So it's definitely updated. Unfortunately, none of the original music is in this movie, but it's all very accessible to today's teens and today's pop radio. So that's why it was so exciting, and I think it makes it very relatable for people going to see it now. And that's how we kind of like bring the messages of the original series and make them relatable. So, I mean, I'm a musician in real life, so getting to do a project that involves both acting and music is incredible. And yeah, and all the performances, well, I should say a few of the performances in the film, we actually had real fans of the original Gem series and of this upcoming film fly in from like Australia and Canada to come see, you know, us perform and us shoot. So that a lot of the extras are actually real fans. And for Youngblood, we actually just did a social media blast and said, hey, if you want to come see a Gem performance, you know, come to this address. And it was like a few hours before we got 500 people. So all those people who you see in the movie for Youngblood really wanted to be there. So all the performances, what I'm trying to say is all the performances were very special, and there was a lot of passion in the room. So it was a very cool experience.
That's awesome. Now let's talk about the hair and makeup. How excited were you to go every day and know that you were going to be looking so rad every day?
Well, I mean, very excited because, you know, you very rarely get to do something that, you know, you very rarely get to be involved in a recreation of something. So getting to do something that already has such an established, welcoming, warm fan base was incredible. But, you know, it actually like took 3 hours to get into that hair and makeup and 1 to 2 hours to get out of. So it's definitely a long process, but I don't get to play dress up very often, so it's very fun.
And let's talk about the message of Gem to young girls, why it's important to them.
It's important, I mean, it's important to young girls, but really to any young person, I think, because it might sound cheesy, you know, it's about being yourself and self-expression, but that's so important, really for any age as well. It's really important to find confidence in who you are, and that gets lost a lot of times no matter how old you are. And we bring in this issue of social media because who you are so often is defined by the internet today. So that's why we updated it and made that such a main theme of the movie. Is like, how do you deal with YouTube? How do you deal with the internet and Instagram and all these things to make it really relatable? And I think that, I don't know, I've had people tell me that they can relate to it, so I hope that young girls and young kids will. So we'll see.
Okay, now let's talk about the charity, because that's such a great part of Gem. Can you tell me the name of the charity that Gem is supporting and why that cause is so important today?
Yes, Gem is supporting education through music, specifically the LA branch. And it's really important because, you know, just in LA there are hundreds of thousands of kids who don't get music as a part of their curriculum. And I think not just music, but any arts is just as important as math and science, at least in my mind, because that's really such a major outlet for kids to express themselves. And you really only find out who you truly are when you discover your passion, and you have to be allowed the opportunity to express yourself. And music is something that really binds people together, and it allows you, you know, to feel connected to someone. I talked to a little girl today who has been through a lot in her life, and one thing that's kept her going is listening to music because she doesn't really have a lot of other things to hold on to. She's amazing. Her name is Shayla Rucker. She's incredible, so shout out to her. But yeah, so just hearing that is one example, you know, one example of why someone needs the opportunity to learn about music and to express themselves through music. So I think it's essential to have it as part of school curriculum.
That's awesome. Okay, this is my personal question because the music was so good in the film. Did you have a favorite song that you performed?
Yeah, my favorite song in the movie is Alone Together because it's acoustic and stripped down, and that's the one that we shot singing live. And I think that it's a very vulnerable moment in the film. But performance-wise, I think that Youngblood was where we had the most fun because, like I said, we did that social media blast, so all the audience members really wanted to be there. So, you know, normally like on Nashville, when we're shooting, it's hundreds of extras, and it very much feels like another scene. But that was a really special, you know, and those are very special moments. But this was a very different experience because all those people really wanted to be there, so it was like we were actually having a concert, even though we shot it for 13 hours, but it really helped us keep our energy up throughout, so it was cool.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Aubrey. Pleasure.
Thank you.